Welcome back one more time to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online, powered by Twitch. As you heard from that intro, we are nearing the end. It has been an absolute thrill. But all good things must come to an end. But not before we raise as much money as we possibly can for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Thank you for all your generous donations, including folks like Irish Ouija, who sends in $50 and says, "Gotta save Meryl. We can't change the future, Snake. You'll create a time paradox." And $200 from Comedy Klaus, who says, "Snake, do you believe research to prevent cancer can bloom on the battlefield? I think it's about time that we find out. It's time for Metal Gear Solid with D-Limes 13. I salute you, soldier."
Thank you very, very much, T-Tree. Before I begin, I just would like to say it is certainly an honor and a privilege to be closing this event with such an amazing game. I hope I make the Metal Gear speedrunning community proud. And so yeah, I'm D-Limes 13. This is Metal Gear Solid. We are going to be playing on the console version of the game, playing on the all bosses category, which means we need to defeat all the bosses. No real major skips. We'll get into that a little bit later. And playing on extreme difficulty, highest and hardest difficulty in the game. My commentators are Apache Smash and Plywood. They'll take you through the first part of the run as I do a few things early on. And time will begin when I select extreme. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, so welcome to Metal Gear Solid. It has been almost 10 years since this category, All Bosses Extreme Console, has been at a GDQ, and what a way to come back into the fray. This run in particular, last run by MGS Slade, has changed quite a bit in nearly 10 years. If you're unfamiliar with extreme difficulty, it is the highest difficulty. It's super extreme. We are going to be at base health for a significant amount of time, and being at base health, we die very quickly. The ration you see in the corner, that is our healing item. We only get one, and it doesn't heal us all that much. So the start of the game is pretty scary. Normally when you run through this game on lower difficulties, every time you defeat a boss, you get a health upgrade, and your health increases. Your health does upgrade on extreme, but you get no health when you defeat a boss. And a lot of the bosses are near the start of the game, so the difficulty is pretty wild. Right now what Limes is doing is farming alerts. The reason why he's doing this is later on in the game, if you have a certain number of alerts going into the PAL card sequence, you'll actually be able to get a different RNG set. Usually for doing big boss rank, which is entire stealth, the rat will have the card. But if we farm enough alerts, the card will actually appear in the ditch. And on average, this is faster and altogether much easier than dealing with the rat. But we still have to make sure that we do not get shot by this guard, because that could potentially create some problems.
We're basically 2 hits from death at this point, and getting shot early on is very, very bad.
Yeah, we can't farm too many because the elevator won't come down during an alert phase. So Limes was just timing out his alerts there to make sure the elevator still comes down.
It is possible to not farm enough alerts, but if that happens, you just count enough throughout the run, and there is a way to get a few extra at the end. Dealing with the rat is not recommended for the faint of heart. It is really difficult and complicated to do the rat well, whereas being able to follow a line in a ditch is pretty simple. So we're in the second area of the game, the heliport, and once again, we're just gonna blast our way into the base and immediately get spotted again. And that's because that is the fastest way to do this room. Even if you're doing the big boss run where you're being stealthy, you still want to take the alert in this room because it's faster. What you're going to see Limes do is a certain line that'll ideally prevent him from getting shot from this guard by the vent. Nice. And what he just did is what we call a quick throw or throw cancel. So the way animations work in Metal Gear Solid 1, you can cancel certain animations by re-equipping your weapon. So you can do that to cancel the end animation of the judo throw, cancel the end animation of choking a guard to death. So that is huge in terms of our ability to move quickly throughout various rooms in the game, and very key to avoid taking damage in certain encounters where the game pretty much intends to you to get shot, but we figured out ways to avoid taking damage because of animation cancels.
Yeah, so as I crawl through this vent here, I'll be getting out. I want my movement to be somewhat quick, but then I'm going to pause for a little bit to wait for a guard to get to a certain point, and then I'm going to throw him. There is a slightly faster strategy that involves throwing a chaff grenade to distract these guards, but it's very risky. And with how far these guards can see, it just, it's very hard to do this room using the chaff strategy.
Yeah, if you hack the game to turn on the radar on extreme, their view just like covers the whole radar.
Like their cones are scary. They legit give me nightmares. They're just so big. It's ridiculous.
You'll always see Limes holding a weapon as well when he moves around. You actually run a little bit faster as long as you have something equipped.
Yeah, for every 12 seconds you have a weapon equipped, you save about a second-ish. There are strategies that involve buffering without a weapon, but throughout the run we will keep a weapon equipped. It makes a huge difference over time. And we're coming into the first big encounter of the game. We're going to fight some guards entering this prison area, and really the first part of this fight is the scariest part. We're not going to get any help from Meryl. She's too scared to actually shoot her gun, and you know, we don't actually have a weapon yet. The game allows us to pick up a weapon at the start of this fight, but it makes things a little bit awkward. The other thing that makes this scary is that on extreme, these guards take 5 shots each. That's the most they take. On the lower difficulties, they can take 3 or 4. So you don't really have a lot of ammo to waste.
Almost damageless, but not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's pretty close to ideal in terms of, you know, you want that third guard on the right to just start shooting at Meryl and not pay attention to Snake. So you're gonna see Limes use choke to use guards as human shields, because again, your ammo is very limited here. We want to rely on Meryl taking these guards out and amass a ton of ammo. Thankfully, we get all these free rations, so we'll be able to top ourselves off before this fight is over. And we're gonna need all the health we can get going through the first chunk of this game. Come on, Meryl. We believe in you. One day she'll learn how to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, that was okay help, but she can definitely do a lot better.
Time for a donation or two?
Go for it.
Alrighty, first, I just want to thank chat for getting us to $3,080,200. Keep it going. We believe in you. Smash that total. Tarek sends in $25, says, another $25 if you can get Boba Skip first try.
Oh boy. I will try.
Challenge, it is thrown.
All right, so
back to you.
Why don't you wait? We're coming up on the next boss fight here, so we're gonna blow ourselves up through these walls here to get to the Ocelot fight. We're going to be using the SOCOM pistol to chase basically Usain Bolt around because he just runs so quick. I want you to explain this while I'm doing it.
Yeah, so you can get an easy free shot on Ocelot right at the start by just auto-aiming. And then this is all about pacing out your shots. He moves extremely fast on extreme, does not run like an old man at all. This loop right here is super useful. You just get him stuck in a loop where he's shooting you, and you just make circles. But once he's out of ammo, he'll just keep on running. So you have to just pace out your shots appropriately. And Limes did it pretty cleanly. It's quite easy on extreme for this fight to get away from you because of how fast he is, and then you're going to have to do these really awkward around the corner shots as he's moving. But nicely done.
Yeah, your movement has to be on point. I mean, you have to round your corners nice and sharp. He can just get away super, super quickly, and if he lays into you, you will die very quickly.
This man died, or maybe he's taking a nap, I'm not sure.
Hopefully just a nap, but I'm not
just
sure.
A nice quick nap. Just like the other person we met earlier, I don't know. I mean, everyone we've met so far kind of dies, so it's just kind of how it rolls with Solid Snake.
All right. So I'm gonna grab some grenades. They're gonna be very important for later on. A lot of uses for grenades. Another quick throw there, and then we're just gonna get to the elevator.
The elevators, we hopefully can see them show up after one press, but if they don't show up quickly, then we just press it again and they'll show up immediately, which is exactly how elevators work in real life. Hot tip. And now we're gonna do something very normal for a super spy like us to do. Do a little clip out of bounds by going prone halfway into the vent, looking up in first person, letting go, and then standing up with X. And then we'll be able to get ourselves out of bounds and avoid this whole laser area. Now, the thing that's awkward... Where is the door? That's always the question. Since we don't have radar, you have to be on point with your movement, or else it's pretty easy to get lost out there. And
even with that minor mistake, he saves so much time by skipping a huge codec with Merrill, and on console you have to skip for every single message of the codec.
Yep, and right into the tank fight, already firing at us. We use the chaff grenade to disable the main gun of the tank, and this is all just planned timing, positioning, all that stuff. Now, we are in scary mode, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is not ideal at all. I may just take a death and reset this.
Yeah, we've got to dunk those grenades into the hole where the gunner is, and that will do huge amounts of damage. So we've managed to get into the second phase. Limes will try to set up and do the same thing again.
I believe. Oh, we disabled the tank. Just need one more grenade in there.
Yeah, when the tank's moving around like this, it's very, very difficult to throw the grenades in.
Yeah, and the other awkward thing is that grenades work differently in the tank fight. Nice recovery. They work differently in the tank fight. If you cook and throw it like the very last second, unlike the rest of the game, Snake will just like chuck it super hard, which changes how the grenades behave. Usually if you do that, the grenade will just blow up in your face, right in your face, but they changed the mechanics for tank. They don't actually tell you any of this. There's a lot of weird, subtle differences throughout this game that, on first glance, this game is pretty simple compared to the later games in the series, and it's true, but there's nuances there that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
So I'm gonna take a slight detour for some grenades just because I used so many in that boss fight. Because I'm gonna need them for later. And I'm gonna try to toss this guard off. Just like that.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, so we're gonna take a detour to the B1 floor here. We're going to grab the Nikita missile launcher. We have to be pretty quick on our movement because there's a guard at the south end of the room. If we bump any walls or anything, he'll spot us immediately, and that's pretty much a game over. But got out of there cleanly, and then we'll be using the missile at the floor below to take out a circuit panel.
This is the one part of the game where we're required to use the Nikita. You'll notice that Limes is going to do the Nikita in third person. You can do third person or like missile view, but the missile view is laggier, and you're not going to get as good lines as if you're doing third person. You can actually guide this missile with analog and get like perfect lines, but runners don't do that. That's more of a task thing, so we just use the D-pad to get nice, clean, even movement to get that stage 2 speed of the rocket. So coming up next is the ninja fight. After we pick up this FAMAS, very key to pick that up now. We'll be using that in not the next fight, but the fight after that. It's really cool that in this game there's different places for weapons to spawn, so that's like why we had the SOCOM at the cell fight, when you could also pick it up in multiple locations before then. It actually also changes the cutscene where you meet Meryl. Anyways, ninja fight. This guy does not want us to shoot at him, and we'll oblige. He wants us to fight him hand to hand, or else he will slash us with his sword, and that does a lot of damage, so you don't want that. A very cool technique that you'll see Limes use throughout this fight is the kick cancel. If you press X during the punch-punch-kick combo that Snake does, you'll be able to cancel the end animation of the kick. So you'll see the foot return very fast back to his side, and that lets you move earlier. Also, if you're like not confident in your kick, you can cancel that out and not even land the kick. So super useful in this fight to regain our composure. Another really key thing right there is approaching with a weapon and getting that exclamation mark. If you don't do that on extreme, he'll attack you quickly and you'll get hurt. His attacks have wild range on extreme. Other than that, it's pretty simple, just pacing out your combos appropriately based off of his attack animations. It's really not that hard of a fight, but obviously any mistakes on extreme are quite punishing.
Hurry up and catch me.
So we're gonna play the children's game hide and seek, but even adults play it too. Crouching there forces the ninja to do the dive jump attack, and that's much better than the alternative where he slashes you with his sword. So if you're not close to him on extreme, it's better to just force him into that dive attack.
Speaking of children's games, I have a limerick here. Would anyone like to hear it?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Shadow Diosama sends in $50 to the Prevent Cancer Foundation and says, a limerick for one of my favorite games. There once was a solid snake, a Metal Gear he would break. Snake slid through peril, he rescued Meryl and left Otacon in his wake. Put my donation towards saving Meryl. Congrats for the 3 million. Thank you all to the runners, tech crew, the staff, and PCF for another amazing GDQ.
Very nice. So this is the big punch phase. We do not want to get hit by this thing. It will force us to use our ration. He attacks super fast and he's camouflaged. We want to create enough distance from him that we can combo him without him attacking us. Another really cool thing you can do in that phase is get into a position where you can only teleport on one side or another. So like in that hallway or in a corner, he'll only teleport in front of you, which is useful. You really don't want to get hit by this shockwave, folks.
All right, and that's the ninja. Pretty decent ninja, fairly clean. Can't complain too much about that.
It's a scary fight to watch when you're on low health.
It is, yeah. And really this run, the first 25 minutes or so on Extreme console specifically, it's very punishing. So if you're at the health that I'm at right now, like it's very scary.
Yeah, he may have a ration, but folks, it's like 2 extra hits. It's not that much.
It doesn't do much.
It's just like a very small insurance policy. The rest of it is totally reliant on your ability to adapt, which makes the fun exciting, but also pretty nerve-wracking. And we only get a handful of health refills in this run, one of which we're actually going to skip, which is pretty terrifying. So
yeah, we'll get to that later. So. But now we're going to make our way back up to B1 floor to meet Meryl. That was the wonderful guard who helped us in the guard rush fight, who did a wonderful job. I say that with all kinds of sarcasm.
I mean, I'd give her performance in that fight probably like a C. It's like okay.
C minus, yeah.
Yeah. Usually she's operating on like a D level, so, or an F. Picking up some stun grenades here. Stun grenades are super powerful. We're going to be using them in the next fight and throughout the run. They instantly knock out everyone in the room. And when I mean the room, I mean the entire map. No matter where they are, they will get knocked out. They nerfed stun grenades in the later games for a very good reason, which you will see much later in the run.
Don't move.
Actually, we do have to move. This is a speed run.
Yeah, just a bit. This cutscene is unskippable.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
unfortunately,
I know
we
this
have
place
to
better than you.
listen to Meryl bob her head up and down.
Follow me.
This is the true 1998 technology, folks.
That's strange. There's no guard.
Psycho Mantis is arguably the most technical fight in this game.
Keep a lookout.
Would you
Make
agree
sure
with
you're
that,
ready,
Limes?
okay?
Yeah, it's an incredibly long fight. There's a few different phases you got to go through. You got to deal so many shots on him. It just takes so long to get his health down. Even with a phase skip that we're going to do, it's a really long fight.
Yeah, and he can throw you for a loop. He has a certain order to his attacks. He's going to like move around the room at first and then start throwing stuff in the room at us. And there's supposed to be an order to these things, but sometimes he'll repeat attacks or not do attacks. It's pretty wild. That throw was not for show. It's actually faster to throw Meryl into the room rather than let her move in, which is something Limes found. It saves like a little under a second.
About a second,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, about a second. And here, Meryl's getting possessed by Psycho Mantis. We're just gonna throw a stun grenade, and now going to switch to the second controller, which is the gimmick of this fight. You have to be in controller port 2. But that's just part 1. Just knowing how to do the fight, that's great, but we have a way to hopefully manipulate Mantis into good positions here at the start as he's teleporting, so that's why he's aiming upright and then looking in first person to see where Mantis flies. Mantis gets influenced by how many shots you take, and then try to do as much damage as possible. It pushes him back, and we try to avoid the chairs. Switching to FAMAS because it's a little bit easier to get shots off on Mantis that way. But we try to be conservative with our FAMAS ammo because we need it for the fight. Now, there's a way actually to keep him stuck in between attacks if you just keep on attacking him, which is super useful for Extreme because this attack right here, these urns, are really annoying. And now that we've used our ration, this is our health for next chunk of the game.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
So that grenade, if you throw it just right, it's very precise on Extreme. You can cause Mantis to go into the next phase early. and just throw a stun, and she's right back down. Now we could throw a stun here, but it's faster just to toss Meryl before she shoots herself. And we're entering the final phase of the fight. Try to see where Mantis is, and once again using the grenade to get him out of teleporting around the room, because that's pretty slow. Sit in the back here and just pace out our shots as the chairs rotate around. It's what I call the kitchen sink, because he just starts throwing everything in the room at you. And if everything goes to plan, Mantis is going to take a nice long sit on that chair, the executive chair. This is an absolute tank. Nice.
All right, not too bad. Unfortunate that I had to use the ration, but it's all right.
It should be fine. We have enough health to do what we need to do coming up. But it doesn't change the fact that you'd rather have it than not.
Correct, yeah.
So Meryl is going to be our ally for a minute here. She's not going to be that helpful, honestly, which is the running theme in this run.
Snake, you follow me.
She takes point, but does not help us with the dogs.
No, we're basically on our own. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do another vent glitch to clip out of bounds. That way I can avoid dealing with the wolves here in the cave. The wolves can do crazy random things, and they can do a lot of damage. So not only this is faster, we just avoid the randomness altogether.
And now the dogs are in the void.
What's wrong? I thought you were good with dogs.
And now we get about a 1 minute-ish break. So if there's any donations or anything that needs to be said, feel free.
Stay back, okay?
I would love to read donations for 100 minutes, but we'll keep it to one. Fangamer sends in $7,000 and says, "Hey everybody, Fangamer here. We have had a blast watching from home. This past week has zipped by like a speed run to $3 million raised and counting. That's $3,100,000 in just a second here for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. We are honored to be a part of it. Thank you to GDQ staff, sponsors, runners, commentators, volunteers, and everyone else that contributed. Special thanks to everyone who shopped the Fangamer AGDQ 2022 collection. See you at SGDQ.
Pretty good, huh?
Thanks, Fangamer." And an anonymous $250 donation that says, "Metal Gear." Craig sends in $50 to Prevent Cancer Foundation and says, "Let's see that Otacon ending. Bromance is the way to go. Mance." And Hera sends in $50 with this Prime reminder. "Any Twitch primers? We've got a record to smash." Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And make sure to get your donations in for ending. We're coming up pretty fast on when that cutoff is for the ending choice. I believe that's when Wolf is defeated, right?
When Wolf starts, just because. So
Gotcha.
In case of delay or whatever. Yeah, when the first Wolf fight begins, that's where the donation bid war is cut off.
Folks, you got like 3-4 minutes, so get them in if you want to swing it one direction or another. So stunning these dogs.
I will say one thing regarding that bid war. If you do the Otacon ending, it is the faster endings. That way we don't have to mash and whatnot. And so if it's faster, I could go after world record. You know? I mean, it's possible. Just saying.
2 in 1 week? I'd love to see it.
Maybe.
So we have to backtrack to the area where the tank was, the tank hangar, to the armory to pick up the PSG-1 rifle. And this is unavoidable. We need this rifle to progress. Actually, the rifle is the most I know I was saying the stun grenades were the most broken weapon in MGS1, but that was a complete lie. The rifle by far is the most broken weapon in this entire game, bar none, because it allows us to do some things not exactly intended by the developers on both the console and PC version. It's also a decent weapon, but that's
it's okay. I give it a solid okay. So I'm going to take a different line here just because I don't want to have a 1 in 100 chance of getting trolled by a camera and getting shot. So I'm just going to take it safe. That way, since I don't have the ration.
Yeah, the turrets on Extreme do a huge amount of damage. As said before, damage is increased throughout the difficulties, and turrets just, they chomp you so bad on this difficulty. Like 2 hits right now and he's dead from a turret. And it takes off like 60% of his health.
Fast elevator. So this room is very complicated. I am not going to explain it while I'm trying to do it.
This is a tough room.
Yeah, this is a room that comes fast and quick. We're going to be quick throwing guards and then using a stun grenade to set up a stun on the whole room. Pick up all the ammo in here. It's going to stun all the guards. And we're going to set up by the elevator and get ready to take out this guard as we wait for the elevator. Because we don't want him moving around. He could spot us as we're waiting in the elevator. And that was nicely done.
Yeah, it made it look really easy, but that room is super difficult and everything is so precise. That was perfect.
Yeah, the margin for error on your movement is quite low. You don't want to be dawdling after you throw that stun grenade. So, very nice. The way back in the canyon is less scary. It's just on the way in, there's a huge risk on your line. So that's why Limes took it safe. But on the way up, it's pretty simple. You just throw a chaff and essentially move straight up. A little bit of an adjustment to the left.
Yeah, and everywhere in that canyon, there's claymore mines, so you have to avoid, so that's why we take that particular line.
So here, instead of going the left side like we did before, we're taking the right. And you might be saying, but don't you want to pick up those chaff grenades again? Well, folks, when you pick up an ammo pack in Extreme, it's gone forever. It's kind of like realism mode. On the lower difficulties, ammo can respawn. On Extreme, once you pick up a pack, it's gone forever. You better use your stuff well, and that's why resource management is so important on Extreme difficulty. Later on in the game, how many chaff you have is going to be very important.
So we are very close to the start of the wolf fight. I would say probably like 20 seconds or so out. So get those donations in, and then I'll need to know which ending I'm doing.
This out of bounds is very cool. This is why we pick up the cardboard box, is so we can cut through this little wall and extend our Snake's box to, well, his other box, not the cardboard box, his like character model box to get out of bounds. Okay, Wolf 1, we're in. Donations cut for the ending, and now we are going to initiate the weapon glitch.
Nope, didn't work.
So what Limes is doing right now is a series of inputs to allow him to make one weapon take the place of another. And by going from grenade to rifle, he'll be able to walk past the barrier that you're supposed to get shot at and start punching Wolf. This is not how this fight's supposed to work. Now she's trying to fight us. She really can't. We want her to stay up here. She can actually fall down below. It's quite annoying, but she's actually being pretty nice. That was actually a really good fight. So what ending did we get?
Well, chat donated a total of $164,000, $164,799.98. And by a margin of less than $900, we will be saving Otacon.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone, so much for your generosity.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to submit to the torture here and save 4 minutes. Interesting.
That's what we like to hear. The vast majority of the runners, we don't like dealing with this torture. That intense face Limes just made, that was him trying to say, I don't want to save her. I'm trying to get out of here, man.
He thought with every fiber of his being that you were going to say Meryl, and we all did.
The thing is, the mash to do the torture, it's irrelevant. It's not that hard. It's just, sorry, it's a flat out waste of time. So, like, I don't want to do it. But thank you guys so much for the donations and everything for making Bro ending happen.
I just prefer the Otacon ending. I'll be honest.
It's if you always save Meryl when you play this game casually, you should definitely submit to the torture and see the friendship blossom between Otacon and David here. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should stop talking, according to this guy, and let T-Tree do some donations.
I can do that for you. Unlimited Hacks 13 sends in $250 with the comment, Snake? Snake? Snake! Thanks for another great AGDQ to all the runners, organizers, and donors. See you this summer. Shard of Kingdoms sends in $35 to Prevent Cancer Foundation and says, good luck, Limes. Everyone in MGSR is cheering you on.
Thanks, man.
Brady donates $250 to Prevent Cancer Foundation and says, this is for Darkman78. Thanks for all that you've done. We'll miss seeing you on the big screen. Good luck with your future endeavors. Echo that 100%. Thank you, Brady. And Anani Moose donates $200 and says, Anonymous sends in $200 with no comment. Sorry, Anani Moose, not Anonymous. Thank you for your donation. That was the comment, and that was the donation. Thank you, Anani Moose.
You got more, go right ahead. We still got time here.
Okay, I'll go till you tell me to stop.
Sure.
Eshwin sends in $250 and says, let's get that new record. Chat, we are at $3,111,015. Keep going till the very end. Gearbox, not the company, sends in $100 and says, 2021 was weird for me, but I managed to financially recover. It's my birthday, and I love charity. An extra $100 if someone wishes me a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Gearbox.
Happy birthday, Gearbox.
Mitch sends in $30 and says, 12 years ago, I went on a date with a woman, and when we spent much of it making MGS references, I knew it was love. Now we're married. I couldn't save Meryl alone, so we did it together. Put this one to her. Sorry we couldn't do that one for you, Mitch, but thank you so much for your charming story and your generosity. Jino sends in $50 and says, so happy to have watched all of these awesome runs this week. Even more proud of this community for providing so much to an awesome charity. Good luck to D-Limes as he finishes this marathon out. And Falcon donates $75. This has been an incredible marathon as it is every single time. Way to go for the high score in donations, everyone. Thank you so much to all of the runners, volunteer, and staff. Raising money for charity is always a winning play. An anonymous donation for $250. GDQ is best. Thanks and infinite gratitude to all the runners and people that make this possible. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we gotta quiet down. Otacon says he's coming back, and we gotta we gotta be careful here, because we gotta get out of jail. And the best way to get out of jail, folks, is to get some ketchup, slather it all over your body, and make a guard confused.
Maybe someday I'll lie in a pool of ketchup. Who knows?
I mean, if you came into this run with your sweater ketchup stained, I would admire it.
Oh, man.
I definitely would have admired it. That would have been pretty stinky to do that for like 90 minutes.
All right, and we're out.
Fortunately, I don't have to remind you about the bomb in your inventory. If you save Meryl, Ocelot plants a bomb in your inventory, which you have to throw away. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that. It's one that speedrunners always forget.
Yeah, and most of the codecs in this game are not mandatory, so you'll see codec pop up and we just ignore it. That's the one you really need to remember. Wait a minute, this codec's not supposed to happen here. I have about 10 seconds before I die.
Yep, instant one hit, even if you got rations on, you're dead. So
we're backtracking back to Tower A, and I think this is probably a good time to explain what's about to happen, because while it's happening, it's a bit intense. So for those wondering, what is this huge thing that happened recently with this game that saves about 2.5 minutes? We can now skip the Tower A sequence basically entirely. And the story goes that Boba of Yogg's cast was playing this game casually, and no backseating in her chat, no one telling her what to do. And she was attempting to get through the tower and thought, well, Hideo Kojima is known for doing wacky stuff like forcing people to play on the second controller port. Maybe there's some way to get through this door, aka the problem that speedrunners have been trying to solve for literal years now, actual years. And lo and behold, she was in just the right position, just the right angle, took damage, got the correct animation damage, and she phased through the frozen door, skipping half the tower climb and the rappel sequence. And this is probably one of the most significant finds in this game in years, especially for the console version. It's just absolutely massive, very cool story, and it upended the entire leaderboard for all the categories in this game.
Yeah, it works on every single run, so it works in any percent. It's good for all bosses. It changed the run for literally everyone who plays this game.
yeah, PC, console, emulator, you name it. You do the run, you want to do the Boba skip. It is a bit of RNG because we're relying on an animation, and my cat, I think, is going to make an appearance. You may hear a meow, and you might see her, so just fair warning. But the Boba skip relies on a certain animation. It is 50-50. You either get a small knockback or a big knockback, and we want the big one. We're going to basically hold a grenade in our hand and take damage, and then just hope for the best.
Yeah, so you have to position yourself on the left side of the door, and you'll see Lime himself up in first-person view. There's a certain line in the wall, and you can use that as a visual cue. And then at that point, it's just crossing your fingers that you get the big knockback, not the small knockback. It's very key that we do this. There is one problem with this whole thing, is that we are not going to get the full health return that you normally would get by going to the top of the tower and starting the rappel sequence. So the health we have is the health we're going to have until pretty much the end of the game, with the rations, of course. So setting up here by stunning these guards, and this is when the rubber meets the road.
Not first time, so you got the wrong animation there, so you'll have additional chances to get it.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. Two is good. I'll take 2. 1 would have been ideal. 2 is good. That's good enough. I didn't lose much health.
Getting the Boba skip also skips the walkway guards as well. And the walkway guards have a special effect where they can knock you down when they hit you. And it's a very difficult section of the run. The rappel is tricky as well, so Boba skip reduces the difficulty of the run because it gets rid of 2 very hard sections.
Yeah, if you get shot by the guard, one of the guards on the walkway, they can literally one-hit you. It can randomly happen on Extreme. Pretty cool. So it's pretty great. Also, huge shout-outs to Boba and her original name for this skip called Kevin. So if you're a Kevin in chat, we salute you, Kevin. All the Kevins in chat.
Thank you,
We love Kevin.
We love Kevin. So we have to do some stair climbs, some jazzicide, stairicide, exercise stuff. And we're going to meet Otacon. It's going to spook us and tell us about how glitches can bloom even in casual gameplay. I think that's how the cutscene goes.
I think so, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. This is the place where if you do not have chaff grenades, you're going to take a ton of damage on extreme. This is essentially a resource check. And if you don't have enough chaff grenades, you're going to have to, like, go find some. Because these turrets will destroy you. Climbing up to the Hind D fight, which is the helicopter. Liquid Snake is going to be flying around. The fight is not too bad. The damage from the helicopter is pretty massive, but the first phase is just us pacing out our shots and letting the helicopter fly back and forth. There is an important aspect to the resource management where we will see Limes pick up some stuff before the fight starts, but leave one ammo pack for afterwards, and that's for our benefit later on.
Yeah, the Hind D fight is probably my most scariest fight. The helicopter can just do weird, random things. If you're off on your shots at all, it can just turn into an absolute nightmare, so we'll see.
Another thing about Extreme is that there's only one lock-on box for the Hind. That doesn't mean you have to hit in that spot. The Hind's hitbox is actually quite large, and you can hit like the blade of the helicopter and still do damage. It's just that the lock-on is only one box on Extreme. Really nice shot from Limes there. You can hit the helicopter as it's flying over, but the timing and trajectory of the shot is pretty tricky. You got to do some pretty cool geometric calculations on the fly, like, this angle at this time, and hopefully it works, and the helicopter flies properly.
Yeah, Limes is pretty good at math, so he's good on those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a numbers nerd, so just partially why I got into speedrunning to begin with. All right, that was a good phase one.
Yeah, super clean. In between the phases, the Hind is going to fly out and fire a missile. This will one-hit kill us if you don't have a ration out, so we're going to make sure we're not positioned over there.
Got a little glitch there. Got the little stinger scope or whatever it's called.
Phase 2, our goal here is to get the Hind stuck in a loop or the Hind cage by forcing the Hind to constantly counterattack us. The thing is we want to be as close as possible to the Hind here. That way, when the Hind shoots, it misses us entirely. But as you notice, the Hind adjusts its position over time. So you have to move with the Hind a little bit. And if it moves too far out, far away from you, you will get shot. By doing this, the Hind never flies below the building, and we save a significant amount of time.
Yeah, if the Hind goes below the stage, you can't actually hit it. You can't lock onto it or do anything to reduce its health. But this fight's going exceptionally well.
This was a really, really good fight.
Really good, like unreal.
Limes is firing off always stingers there, so a new ammo pack will spawn. He'll need those stingers for the next fight move too.
Once again, firing a missile, and we just sit in the exact same spot and it works. All good to go.
Yeah, this was probably my one biggest fear going into this, other than Boba Skip and the RNG. Yeah, I could not have asked for a better fight.
Well done. So now we can use the elevator. Elevator just randomly starts working again. Otacon's a great repairman, so We're going to go back down. We don't have any more chaff, but that's okay, because instead of using chaff grenades, we're going to use a bit more of an explosive solution in the frag grenades. You have to properly time your cooks and throws with the grenades to destroy the turrets. And naturally, a mistake here is not ideal. You might blow yourself up or not destroy all the turrets. They blow up in sequence, so for the first 2 sets of turrets, you have to delay a little bit on your movement so you don't get shot from the other turrets exploding. So that's why you see Limes do a little delay before moving down. And after this, we have the camo guards, the 4 horsemen, the ultra box. There's gonna be some dudes in this elevator waiting for us, waiting to ambush us. But Limes is a pretty good masher. The best way to deal with these dudes is to choke them out, because if you try to shoot them with the FAMAS, it takes a while for them to actually die. So we have a very specific line to try to manipulate the guards so they don't shoot us, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the bottom left guard and then just kind of work counterclockwise.
Too late, Snake. Now die.
Very
Really
clean.
clean. Unbelievable. Shout out to
you-
the cargo elevator that's over the weight limit with 5 people on it. What
Yeah.
kind of cargo is that carrying?
Cardboard boxes?
Huge, heavy cardboard
yeah.
boxes. So we throw a chaff grenade to disable these turrets, and it explodes just in time for the turret not to hit us, and we enter the Wolf 1 fight. And
2.
Oh yeah,
Wolf 2.
Wolf 1 plus 1.
2.
Right. I wish it was Wolf 1.
Nice.
I got it.
Whoa.
You normally get shot by Wolf there, but if you lean into the cutscene, she doesn't actually hit you, which saves the time of being knocked down. I think that was found by you as well, right? Like,
Yeah, I found that it saves about 2.5 seconds. You basically just do kind of like a half lean, just lightly tap the lean button. Anyway, Wolf 2.
Yeah, Wolf 2 is the worst fight in all bosses because there's so much luck involved. This field is huge. She has a lot of places she can hide, and then there's a hill in the middle of her path, and she can double back, triple back at that hill and juke you. It's really annoying.
Yep. She's not being super nice now.
Yeah, she's really
Nope.
giving him the
Jeez.
runaround here.
And we shoot the stinger when Wolf is hiding behind the trees and try to get these running shots. Ideally, you keep on hitting these shots because that forces her to keep on moving. So you just sort of keep her in this this loop.
Crap.
Ooh. And she shoots very quickly. So missed shot is usually going to end with you taking a hit. Nice little thing to know is that when you go into the rifle animation from a standstill, it actually gives you iframes, which you can use in this fight. And if you lean in first person, you can also avoid damage from Wolf.
All right, so yeah, fair enough fight. I mean, she trolled me at the start, but we made it out.
You're really just at the mercy of her RNG throughout that fight, and she wasn't particularly kind to Limes.
I've seen worse.
He made the best of it.
Yeah, exactly. Wait for this chaff to explode to avoid getting shot by turrets, and head on down into Disc 2, where we virtually change our disc on the PSTV, which is the fastest console version. The Vita TV if you're Japanese. And the first area of Disc 2 is a doozy, to say the least. We're going to be exploiting the the stun grenades yet again. This is proof positive how broken this thing is, because if you make the stun grenade explode behind a closed door, all the guards get stunned, but an alert doesn't happen. So we're A-okay. No one's gonna show up. That guy fell into the furnace, and we blow up the crane to avoid having to deal with it. The crane is a random element, so if you blow it up with a Nikita, a grenade, or a stinger, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, there's always at least one person who didn't know you could blow up the crane, so shout out to that person. I'm glad you got to discover that.
Maybe that's a Kevin.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Shout out to that one Kevin that doesn't know about the crane skip. We salute you.
So there's a huge cargo elevator that comes up there. If you just load the room and then go back into it, you don't have to wait for the cargo elevator to come all the way to the top. It's just already there. It's a little bit faster. This cargo fight is really, really tough. It's easy to take a shot here. Getting shot will force Limes to use the ration. We're just aiming to kind of flip these guards off the sides. Fastest way to do it. That was clean. Unfortunately, getting shot once.
Still got the ration though, which is important for this turret coming up on the east wall. It is random whether it tries to shoot at you or not, depending on its position. And that's why I had the ration on.
Yeah, that turret is quite annoying, specifically on extreme. You know, it's okay to take that shot on easy, and easy is difficulty most people run. It's the most competitive, but on extreme, that turret in particular, you really want the good luck, but it's dicey to take the good luck. Okay. We are now entering Vulcan Raven, and Vulcan Raven is this big guy. He gave us trouble earlier when he was in the M1 tank, but we have a new plan of attack. We're not going to do some wild line in a canyon. Instead, we're just going to bait him into missing every bullet with his gun, because he's a very accomplished elite soldier. Whoa. What? Whoa, what?
Well, for every one you punch, you save 3 seconds. You know, I mean, it's time.
So that's why you have all the world records. Got
yeah,
it.
Exactly. Yeah,
I see.
Crow strats.
Antagonizes birds to save time. Got it.
Okay, so the start of this fight is the most important. It's all about setting up as fast as possible. Raven constantly runs on extreme. On the lower difficulties, he has to take enough damage for him to start running around, but you have to get into this position very quickly and get him stuck in this loop. The most important thing is to keep Raven facing this direction. That's how the loop works. If he turns too much, this loop will fall apart because he's not constantly trying to shoot. Once you understand that, this is a very simple fight. It's just that you don't want to enter the Plan B. Plan B is super risky on extreme.
Nice and clean.
All right, pretty good. Not bad.
Just another day at the office. All right, that's our final health upgrade. Not that you could tell.
Right, yeah. So generous.
So generous with that 0. At least they don't take health away from you when you defeat bosses on extreme.
Jeez.
That'd be Kaizo extreme, or European extreme. Alaskan extreme? I don't know. So this area, there's a bunch of turrets. There's a line you can take to avoid taking damage from all of them. It looks a lot scarier than it actually is, but the chaff is a bit faster in terms of the line.
And now we enter Endgame, Rex's lair. That's a big old thing that we're going to be dealing with later.
We're also dealing with our bro calling us constantly. He's feeling a little bit lonely, so we're gonna have to answer him a few times. He's very adamant about telling us that he's a hacker, super accomplished.
We have time for me to tell everyone a few things.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. First, an updated total for AGDQ 2022 online, $3,123,540. Fantastic work. I know Chad is keeping eyes on how close we are to that world record. Keep it up. Hugh Edit sends in $5 and says, can we get a $5 train for the record? Come on, we're so close. What about it? 105, chat. How's that sound? And Aria sends in $50 and says, do you like my donation, Snake? Take this money for a good cause. Thanks to all the staff and runners for your hard work. Best of luck, and here's to breaking the record. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, folks. So there's a lot of different ways to deal with this guard, but the easiest way to deal with them is just murk them.
Easy peasy.
Yep. The PAL card is about to get shot out of our hand, and we're going to have to go retrieve it. When we get to the bottom floor, that is when whether you have the rat or the ditch is determined. I believe you need 11 alerts when you get to the bottom, if I'm remembering correctly.
Correct, yep.
Yeah. Right here, we just need to quick throw this guard so he doesn't bother us, and we move on down. So there's 7 positions that the PAL card can be in this ditch. So 1 is all the way to the left and 7 is all the way to the right. Most of the positions are pretty good. They're all centered in the bottom of the ditch. Hopefully we do not get position 7. The other thing you have to look out for is that one of these positions randomly has a time bomb in it, and that loses about 4 seconds since we have to throw the bomb out or it'll kill us. So hopefully we get the best position.
Yeah, and that would be position 6. So if you want good RNG, you want position 6.
Yep, 7 is unlucky. 6 is actually the best. So,
wow.
Oh wow,
wow. Okay, that's why we farm the alerts in the docks to hope to get that god RNG. Jeez.
Beautiful.
yeah, it's worth mentioning again how much better this run has become in general from doing the ditch card compared to the rat. You still have to deal with the rat on Big Boss, but if you're doing any rank, so you don't care about stealth, it is so much better, so much easier to learn and faster. So, and the person that figured that out is the guy who's playing this game right now. So huge thanks to Limes for that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, legit. That is not me playing that up.
Nope.
So many runs have been lost to the rat.
Yeah, the rat is dead and buried, at least in my book.
Really fast before we get into a donation train. That movement that Limes did as he was exiting was very clean. There's a way to avoid getting spotted by the camera. If you get spotted by that camera, you can still exit the room, but when the door closes, Snake stops in place. But with a precise movement as you exit, you'll be able to avoid getting spotted by the camera, and it depends on what weapon Snake is carrying. It's one of those small subtleties that if you're playing casually, you would have no idea about, but as time has gone on in this community, Metal Gear speedrunning community, we have noticed things like, oh, if you hold a grenade here, the camera's not going to spot you, or a gun. But if you don't, if you're holding the FAMAS, it will. Just that little stance change makes a huge difference. This game is wildly detailed.
Yeah, shout out Limes for finding that one as well.
Yep.
I've contributed a couple things in this game, so.
Just a few.
Yeah.
And now, if anyone wants to help us out on a different skip, please help us find a way to avoid having to do this huge backtrack sequence for the PAL card. We'd really appreciate it. We actually have a huge bounty for it. if you're interested in trying to find it. This would, if we could find a way to speed up this sequence, not having to backtrack to the frozen warehouse and then back to the blast furnace, that would save a huge amount of time. We have to wait 1 minute and 1 second for the card to change shape. So that being said, this would be a really good time. Yeah.
Go for it.
Storm and Bliss sends in $250 and says, finishing my birthday with the end of another amazing GDQ is pretty special. Thanks to all the volunteers, staff, and runners for making it happen for such a worthy cause. Thank you, Storm and Bliss, and hey, happy birthday. Brahmarai sends in $50 and says, thanks for another wonderful event for a great cause. GDQs are always a highlight. Love to everyone involved. Thank you so much, and never forget, trans rights are human rights. Much love from the Netherlands. Sage Hero sends in $50 and says, thanks for an amazing marathon. I barely got to watch anything, but I'm really looking forward to watching all the VODs over the next week. Thank you to all the runners and staff that make this possible. Whitney sends in $300 and says, keep being awesome.
If you got more, feel free to keep them coming.
Yeah, this is a long backtrack, so not a whole lot going on for a bit.
No problem at all. Ryan sends in $15 and says, you called it. I have played MGS1 probably 30 plus times over my life, and I never knew you could blow up the crane. Shout out to Lime, let's bring it home. And Nerdwire sends $5 and something that's going on in the chat, preempting that $5 train in just a couple of minutes here to say $50,000 pet the cat incentive. Here's 5 to kick that off. Sounds like we might have 2 trains on separate tracks right next to each other. Kenneth Baker sends in $140.15 and says, Snake, don't forget to call Meryl. I forget her codec frequency. Oh, that's right. You'll have to check the donation receipt. I see what you did there. And HalfCat42 sends in $50 and says, AGDQ, the way you play this game, maybe you're that ninja. Let's keep going to that donation PB. Phil Plays Games sends in $250 and says, this goes out to my friend Ryan, whose leukemia is in remission. Let's end cancer for good. And chat, as we get to the end of our backtracking here, I have one special thing that's just for you. Keep an eye on the chat history in just a few seconds here. I'm going to do something that I don't know anyone has ever done before.
Ooh, spicy. Big shout outs to Solid Snake, who can climb ladders safely while just holding a grenade. I do not recommend, that is not proper 3 points of contact, folks, so don't do that in real life. But
I mean,
if you want to be fast.
I've done it while holding a PlayStation 5 box in my hand, so what's a grenade, right?
This is going against OSHA standards, sir.
Why?
This is an unsafe nuclear warhead storage facility.
I'd say don't do anything like Solid Snake does. It's probably good advice.
Probably not recommended, no.
Well, you didn't smoke any cigarettes in this run, so we're all proud of you for that, fighting against the cigarette addiction that Solid Snake has.
So yeah, now we're making our way to the blast furnace where the room where we blew up the crane to heat our PAL card. We'll have to wait another minute plus in there, but we'll gather a couple supplies while we're in there as well.
It's gathering bird time save right now. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another 3 seconds.
That's
So something that comes up a lot, in the comments of these runs is, can't you just heat the key up in Rex's lair? That's only possible in the Twin Snakes. So that was something that was changed in the remake for the GameCube. They cut down the PAL backtrack sequence by allowing you to cool down the card and heat up the card in one room. You can't do it in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, the Twin Snakes cuts down a lot of the backtracking and unskippable stuff, while still maintaining the same game structure. It just, corrects some of the things that were a little annoying about this game if you play it over and over again. So you actually want to get shot by the turret here. That's good luck, even though it's a little scary, like, oh my gosh, it's shooting at me. But that actually allows for the fastest line as you go over to the left, so good luck. And like Limes mentioned, as we enter the blast furnace, we're going to go and pick up some supplies. We need some Stinger missiles, and we'll also be picking up the body armor. Now, you can actually pick up the body armor much earlier, even in Disc 1 in the B2 lab, but you have to do a lot of extra stuff for that to even happen. We really only need it specifically for the Rex fight as a safety policy. So the thing is that going into this room, you'll see the screen black out here. That actually does delay the PAL card. If you like open up the menu or go into the codec or anything like that, that will delay the PAL card from freezing or heating. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. Ooh.
I chaffed it go off. It went in the...
Yeah, I was like, is the chaff actually going to go off if you throw it into the furnace? And, well, it doesn't. It's okay, though, folks, because we get a full health refill once the Rex fight starts, but Limes just wants to, you know, raise my heart rate a little bit. I get it, you know.
Make it a little exciting. Yeah, you know.
Keep me on edge.
Gotta entertain.
I'm taking notes. Chaffs don't work after being in lava. Good to know. Keep that in mind.
We learned something super valuable here today, folks.
Metal Gear Solid Mythbusters.
If you have some more donations, we have some time.
Absolutely. It is so heartening to see all the love coming in. That $5 train is in full effect, and we are barreling towards that PB, $3,139,140,032. Keep it up, chat. 5,000 of those dollars come from the Yeti. Hey all, Yeti here. We're closely watching the numbers. Here's $5,000 to kick off a $5 donation train. We can reach PB Station if we all work together. Let's go! Dr. Gerton gets in on that $5 train with $5 for Kevin. Katara sends in $10, $5 for me, $5 for the next person in chat who isn't able to donate. Vicarious Vice sends in $5 and says, Snake, do you think records can be broken even on a battlefield? As Silent Harmony sends in $5 and simply says, choo choo! Let's see. Looking for more $5. My set of donations here is just absolutely full up. Thank you to everyone who's jumping on that train. So many donations at every size, just making all the difference in breaking this BB. $50 from Garvin the Good. It says, thanks for always doing such excellent work, GDQ staff. $150 from Cat Thulu with a special good morning from Germany. Just wanted to tell everyone thank you for this week. The runners, the commentators, the staff, and all those who worked insanely hard to get this event running as smooth as possible. Now, we've had several world records this week. How about another? 3.2 million hype.
Folks, we have, another 10-ish, 12 minutes or so. So let's do this. Let's break this record. We really appreciate everyone coming in, watching, and supporting the final run of GDQ. It's really an honor to be a part of this.
Yeah, it really is. Like, when I saw the schedule and I saw I was the last runner, I was like, it didn't process right away. And I'm like, I'm closing the thing. It's just, it's really special. And for how much money that's been raised so far, and you guys out there viewing, I mean, it's been a very, very humbling experience, and just thank you. That's really all.
That's when the best is yet to come, which is like the main ending theme of this game is supposed to start playing when you start saying that. The best is yet to come.
And we all salute, and it's just beautiful.
Exactly. We have time for a few more minutes of donations.
Okay. Lanuka sends in $250 and says, David, my name is David. My dad died of cancer when I was a kid, and this game helped me through some rough times. Thank you, Kojima, and all of AGDQ for putting some more good in the world. Gina Molina sends in $50 and says, D-Limes, I am begging you, please slow down. I know going fast is GDQ's thing, but so is setting PBs and world records. So make like a public bathroom and stall. Much love to staff in PCF, and a special shout out to my dandy Andy. Care Bear 21 sends in $50 to PCF. 10 tickets to the $5 train, please. Danger Zone with a $25 donation. Can love bloom on the speedrun battlefield? It sure can with more donations. Let's go, chat. Sconer Sr. sends $50 and says, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. If everyone gives just a little, we can break that record in no time. GDQ hype. Shy Tiger 13 sends in $50 and says, here's my $5 hype train times 10. Great job to everyone. I was lucky enough to watch the whole week, except when I needed to sleep. That's all we can ask of anyone, Shy Tiger. Thank you. Nayeli sends in $5 and says, Nayeli from the social media meme team here, sending love to all the crew and volunteers, and especially Darkman78 for putting on an amazing marathon. I am a roller coaster of emotions, and I am so proud of everything we've done as a community. Chat, you're cute. Let's keep going. Smashing Aeon donates $50 to Prevent Cancer Foundation and says, last minute dono to help the cause. Love GDQ and look forward to it every time it happens. Much love to everyone. Let's kick cancer into the next dimension.
Thanks so much. So that was the final PAL key, and now the room will flood with gas. We need to call Articon, so he will come and unlock it, and now we'll get to see my one contribution to the run. I know Boba saved like over 2 minutes, but I saved nearly a frame with this trick. If you hold first person here, you can get the codec much sooner, as it'll pull you out of first person. That's the when to press select. That's it. That's the one thing I contributed to this run.
You hear him smiling right now. He's so happy that he found that little setup. So now is the time for action. We're going to face up against MG Rex. And on extreme, the laser comes out very fast, but there are ways to avoid it. It's all in the movement, so you're going to see Limes do these little cute circles to avoid the laser as it travels. Just round around and then fire again. And the timing works out that once you aim up again, the iframes of the raid dome are going to be cleared. This part of Rex is pretty simple if you're doing this strategy.
Some beautiful pirouettes there.
Now, I can't do it in front of you. I can finally die. Do it.
So, phase 2, we're going to be firing into the cockpit, and Rex has a tendency to move around and shift. It's a little bit scarier, but it's no big deal. The body armor reduces the damage of the machine gun, so if we get shot by a machine gun, it's not so bad. Though you really don't want to get hit by the missiles. Those do wild damage to you.
It's like ate my missile. What was that?
Just MGS1 things.
Hungry for stingers.
Nice shot on the lip there. Nice timing. Nice and clean.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Right.
So for this fight coming up, the Liquid Fist fight, I will be removing my headphones. That way I can concentrate on my button inputs, and these guys will tell you a bit about this fight.
Yeah, one little thing. One of the reasons why we play on the integral release, which is the basically Japanese definitive edition, is that we can skip a 2+ minute cutscene here that is required on the other versions of the game. So the Liquid Fist fight, there's different setups to get into this combo. Sometimes people think that this is an unintended thing of the game, but actually it is very much intended that you can do an infinite combo against Liquid. Fun fact, Kojima showed it off in an old Famitsu video back in the day. So this is totally intended. What you're going to see Limes do is do a couple of throws to set Liquid up in a corner. If you do fall off the edge, it will kill you, and Liquid does way more damage than us, so the goal is to get this infinite going as quickly as possible. Because in phase 1, he doesn't really fight us. He just sort of taunts us and runs around. Most runners take off their headphones for this fight, so they don't hear because that's pretty annoying to listen to. And you just do a certain pace to your punches. You can either do a 1-punch infinite or a 2-punch infinite. And right now, this is looking pretty juicy. A little bit of a slowdown there, but it's okay. That was a very
Absolutely
clean liquid fight,
I can get
folks.
my headphones on. There. Oh, it feels good. That feels good to get that. Whew.
I'll drive.
Excellently done. So,
Surveillance camera.
Otacon's gonna drive us to victory, and for good measure, there is another find right at the end of the game, and this is console exclusive that was found last year as well. Boba took a lot of the spotlight, but this is also quite significant. There is a way to manipulate the guards at checkpoint 2. Checkpoint 1 is simple. We're just going to shoot some explosive barrels and take out the guards. But checkpoint 2 is pretty infamous among the runners because it's quite random. There's no explosive barrels and annoying to deal with. But if you hold direction on the second controller port, you can actually make the guards move. So what you're going to see Limes do is funnel the guards all the way to the down left, and that is makes this a joke. Huge joke.
It saves a considerable amount of time and just makes this section so much safer. You can actually make them run through the wall as well. You can tell this was not actually intended. This was only discovered this year. Sorry, last year. I don't know what year it is. But it's not intended because you can see the guards like run out of bounds, run through the wall. You can just make them run all the way down the hallway, and the checkpoint will just continue. You don't actually have to kill them.
Just a quick moment, if I may. While Limes is crushing this final segment of Metal Gear Solid, we just crushed the all-time PB for donations to a GDQ event, $3,171,075 and counting, against the PB of $3,164,003. Fantastic work, everyone. I love it. Thank you.
That's so hype.
Incredible, and just in time as well. Like, we are right at the end here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit speechless. I'm like, I should be explaining this fight, but I'm just sort of overcome with emotion. Yeah, so...
an auto-scroller. Liquid does actually have a health bar. It requires a certain amount of shots depending on the difficulty. So Lime's doing a really good job of hitting here. I'll let Plywood explain it.
Yeah, so the goal is to swerve your aim and avoid Liquid swerving himself, and then try to get these transition shots, which Limes has been doing a good job with. We're coming into the very end. Time will be coming up pretty soon. Right here, as long as you're in the proper position, you can keep on hitting Liquid. And then this part right here, just kind of try to aim for his arm. We can take damage, it's okay. No big deal there. And now he's done enough damage, and we see daylight and the end
Time
of AGDQ 2022. Wow. Excellent. Really, the only snafu with that run was the tank.
Yeah, I mean, that was, what was the time?
I'm waiting for that to show up.
Okay.
121.20.
If it wasn't for that tank, this would have maybe challenged record. Everything else was really good, but that's going to come up about a minute short. But
Still,
this
absolutely
is
fantastic.
Really good run. I'm super, super happy with this for sure. Whew. Well, but yeah, that's Metal Gear Solid. I want to thank, first of all, my commentators, Plywood and Apache, for doing this with me. I always call them the dream team. It's been an honor to have them here tonight. Shout outs to the Metal Gear speedrunning community. I would not be here tonight without them. the help of the community, my friends there and everything else. I mean, it's an awesome place to hang out, learn these games, whatever. MetalGearSpeedrunners.com if you're interested in running any Metal Gear game, tips, strats, whatever. We have an entire wiki. Join our Discord. Link is on the website as well, MetalGearSpeedrunners.com. Or just hang out with us. Come hang out with us. We're friendly people. It is the best community, hands down. And I'll be selfish for a second and say I do stream twitch.tv/dlimes13. I do stream Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 on a regular basis. So check me out if you'd like. And I guess that's all I have to say.
Proud of you, man. That was a fantastic run. And
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
just so happy that MGS1, a game close to, I know, all three of our hearts, it had this opportunity. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching this. This was incredible.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And Limes is getting married this year in June, so everyone say congrats, D-Limes13. We're all going to be at his wedding as well. And yeah, you're my best friend, dude. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, I love you too. Apache's actually going to be my best man, and Plywood's going to be in the wedding as well. So I mean, they're two of my best friends. So it's just been an awesome experience.
Thank you to D-Limes13 and to all the runners at this event. And now, to finish the marathon off, we're going to an interview with Sumichu and Amy Sokol from PCF.
With Metal Gear Solid. But before we fully close out the event and hit time for real, let's hear a few words from none other than Amy from Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yay! Thank you guys so much. You know what? I've been lucky enough that I've gotten to be at several AGDQ events now and part of the finales for several years. And honestly, this year, I'm always nervous, but I find myself just like speechless and lost for words this year. The energy that you guys brought this year has been so amazing to watch. You guys took everything to the next level of hype, the next level of donations. You guys were breaking records left and right, and it's been so unbelievably exciting to watch. We just adore working with you guys, with the GDQ staff and volunteers, and we're so grateful to the runners and the entire audience that is watching through this week. You guys have such a unique ability that you've taken an audience of tens of thousands of people, and you have really a true community, and like not just a community, but a community that's accomplishing really amazing, life-changing things. You guys are so inspiring. You inspire us. You energize us to do more, to do bigger, to do better, because you guys do. Every year, I think, you can't get bigger than this, and somehow you guys find a way to do it. And it's really, really inspiring. In 1 week, you guys have raised millions of dollars, well over $3 million, which is astonishing to me. And that money will go on to fund work in cancer prevention and detection for months and years to come. And I hope you guys saw a little bit of a glimpse of that this week with the streamed interviews, and you can see like what a big impact every single one of those dollars makes. It makes an impact in the careers of researchers that continue to do work for their entire profession. It impacts people who are able to get screenings through the programs that are being funded. And these aren't just like little impacts, these are lifelong impacts for people. And it's such a big deal. So I hope you guys feel really proud. What you accomplished this week is nothing short of amazing. I feel proud. I feel so honored to be here. So just the most sincere thank you from everyone at Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Well, we here are very, very, very lucky to have you, Amy, and Prevent Cancer Foundation to work with, because this is a true partnership in that you choose to believe in us, and you believe in all of the people who are watching and the people who are donating. You take that risk when you partner with us, and you support us in putting the event on and supporting Speedrun. So we have you to thank as well for all of your support over how many years? It's been so long, So we're super grateful to have both you and Pikachu here with us, especially like right now in the finale speech, to really hear your thoughts. But yeah, from the GDQ side, honestly, I don't really know what to say about this event. Like, our data analysis team is like completely stumped. We had the fastest rate of donations from the beginning, from the point of like Monday at midnight, the donations were just like skyrocketing above everything else, and like from that point on, the line never like dipped below any of the other events. The rate was amazing. We had the fastest rate. We hit 1 million on Wednesday, and overall AGDQ 2022's data points are just way above all of the other events, and we're all stumped. We're all still trying to figure it out. Question mark. But yeah, we're just super, super grateful. And we're super lucky to have people and companies who donate amazing prizes. And we have the games committee and the runners who work super hard, like throughout the entire event and months beforehand, to bring you great runs and incentives to donate for. But, honestly, things like $75,000 raised in 15 minutes is something that we can only attribute to all of you who watch the runs and donate to a good cause. And not only that, but when we enter like hour 100 of the marathon, and Amy and I were talking about this, we were getting like a little tired. We were turning off the lights to like rest our eyes a little bit. But when we see like your messages in chat and your posts on social and the encouragement in the comments that our amazing hosts read, it like that stuff fills us with energy, right, Amy? Like, don't you get like that same energy?
It really does. And I got a call midweek this week from you guys just to check, like, is the tracker working? Is this money really coming through? Like, it was coming in so quickly that I think everyone was just astonished. And so I was checking, I was like, no, it's real money. The tracker is actually accurate. But it's just, yes, it's blown away every sense of any expectation or hope. It's just been so amazing. And it's invigorating. And it invigorates us for the entire year of like, how do we match this energy with what we do? So it's so unbelievably inspiring.
Awesome. And, we also couldn't have a great event without all of the wonderful runners and commentators who brought us like a full week of entertainment. These runners hone their craft and show off the hard work that every community puts into running their respective game and category. And GDQs are also made of the collective efforts from our interviewers who bring out amazing content to entertain between runs, and our volunteers who support the event immensely in a super wide variety of disciplines. And for me, it's always super encouraging to watch every single one of these people who display so much passion for the community, for speedrunning, and for doing good, that it just makes me super, super excited for GDQs. And it makes me excited to see them as excited as we are. And not only that, but we'd also like to thank our sponsors who have supported PCF this year: the Yeti, Fangamer, Devolver Digital, Annapurna Interactive, Dongan Entertainment, and NIS America. But we also have amazing new layouts, and we could not have done that without Chris Hannell and support class team. They did an amazing job. My mind was like blown when we saw, the transition screen moving. That was so cool. And Power Up Audio, who sponsored the sound effects of the layout. So they provided all of those sounds for us so that we could bring this experience to you. And I don't really have anything much else to say, except let me take a look at our donation total, which is a new record, by the way, because of all of you who donated. We have a grand total of $3,179,822.91. But that was accomplished without our usual thing of adding in bits and subs. Like, that's totally wild. You accomplished that without us even putting our portion in yet. And also the contributions of our lovely sponsors. So the total for that is $236,656.94. So we're going to add that to the donation total right now and get our real total. And I'm waiting for it to update. I'm hitting the refresh button. The number keeps going up, but it's because people are still donating.
You can't do
All right, we got it. We got it, Amy. All right. The Thanks to everyone's collective efforts, we have raised a total of $3,416,729.85 for Prevent Cancer Foundation. Amy, tell me how you feel hearing that number.
Oh, there aren't words. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to swear on this. So I'm feeling, I'm lost for words. That is such an insane number. That is such an insane number. And even more insane that this is coming from majority. I mean, the sponsorship is amazing, but a lot of this is small donations from so many people. There aren't words. It's so amazing.
All right. Sorry, I'm like so overwhelmed. It's like, this record is so amazing. Okay, let me collect myself. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing to such a great cause. And while this is the conclusion of AGDQ 2022 online, the speedruns do not stop here. So hold on real quick. We run speedrun content regularly right on this channel, twitch.tv/gamesdonequick, throughout the year called GDQ Hotfix. And tomorrow we're doing a show called Introduction to Hotfix with showrunners ADEF, FantTV, Frozen Flygon, and Ecdysis, who will be showing off some of their favorite speedruns starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you who are interested in speedruns of games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Party, Celeste, or Saw, you can go ahead and tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. And throughout the rest of the year, because we do hotfix content all year round. You can get your speedrun fix whenever you want. And one thing that I do want to touch on before I let you all go is that I know people would love for us to talk about the return of on-site events, and we would love to be able to return to them. I'm sure Amy agrees, right? You know, we miss everybody. We miss seeing all of your faces, and it's still in our plans to do on-site events, but right now, we really cannot commit to it just yet. And, you know, like I said, we miss you all, but we want to make sure that we keep everyone's health and safety at the forefront of our minds at all times. So as such, we don't have any updates on that yet, but please stay tuned to our website and also to social media. And once again, thank you for helping us put on an amazing event that blew away all of our expectations, set records all over the place. One will be one to talk about for years to come. And in the meantime, until next time, be excellent to each other, and we'll see you all again soon.
is where I wanna be, but I've been torn from out its pages for a need to be reborn. But taking all of the last chances I can get, the distance multiplies in rhythm with the debt. For any prayers you send my way that I get by, I'll pay you back when I've returned. I'll pay you back when I've returned. You said the town life's not for me. It wasn't big enough for who I'm meant to be. But it's not easy taking it along. Well, every street recalls the time I saw you last. Well, every avenue, moment in our past. For every story that I bottle up in time, I'll tell you each when I've returned. I'll tell you each when I've returned. It's getting dark now and there's not much left to say. Just leave the light out each night and I'll find a way back to arms and eyes where I want to be found. But not these silhouettes that never make a sound. Or any candles that you burn so I might see. I'll pay you back when I've returned. I'll pay you back when I've returned.
And now it's time for AGDQ 2022 online. Whoop, whoop. Throughout this week, we'll be raising money to benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation, a fantastic charity centered around cancer prevention, research, and education. I'm Jay Hobbs, and I'm joined by Kizaron, Kung Fu Fruit Cup, Feasel, looking cozy by the fireside, and Spike